Welcome to Video Maker,
the podcast that cuts past the highlight reel and takes you straight into the raw behind-the-scenes stories of creatives and makers. I'm Carly, founder of The Good Vibe Media, a woman-owned and operated video production agency and a creative studio space. Every week on Video Maker, I sit down with filmmakers, creators, and creative entrepreneurs for a deep, honest conversation you don't typically hear. The late nights, the pivots, the breakdowns that shape the breakthroughs. These are the conversations and stories that make people like me and so many other creatives need to hear. This is a space for growth, for lessons, for community, a place where we learn from each other's real, unfiltered journeys. This is Video Maker. Let's get rolling. Welcome back to another episode of Video Maker. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see that we are in studio and we have a live studio audience with us tonight, which is so exciting. Tonight is part of our studio sessions event that we host every month, the last Wednesday of every month. We bring in a panel of experts to talk about a particular topic. I cannot wait to get into this conversation with our panel tonight. But I also wanted to add that a lot of you in the room are our Maker members. And I wanted to shout that out because we do have a membership here at the studio where you get crazy discounts on studio time if you have a podcast, if you're a photographer, any type of creative that needs a turnkey studio space. But you also get a free ticket to these studio sessions. So it's a great way to build your network, build your community, learn a little bit. So I definitely wanted to shout that out. So without further ado, I cannot wait to introduce our panel tonight. Tonight's topic is all about turning your creative passion into a lucrative career. And the three that are sitting next to me have inspired and motivated me so much throughout my career. So I can't wait for everybody to hear what they have to share. I won't blabber on too much. I would love for you guys to give a little background, bio, introduction. Risa, do you want to start first?
Yes.
Okay, Risa, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. My name is Risa Kostis. I am a celebrity wardrobe stylist, high-profile wardrobe stylist, bridal wardrobe stylist. I also have a product line called the Rescue Kit Company. We make fashion emergency kits for brides and beyond. And yeah, I've been an entrepreneur since I was 21, started my first business doing hair and makeup for weddings way back when, and have had my styling business for 14 years and just continuing to grow and see where it takes me.
Yes, so good. Yeah. Thank you, Risa, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Leila.
My name is Leila Parnian. I'm an artist. I am a DJ, and I also own a very high-end contemporary furniture store in Scottsdale, Arizona. I've been painting for 21 years. I got more heavily into DJing about 2 years ago, even though I've been DJing since 2018. And I took over our family furniture store about 2.5 years ago and making it more artsy and fun. So you guys got to come check it out.
If you see the bar stools in this room over here, that's where we got them from. Yes. Everyone loves our bar store, black bar stools. They're such a vibe. Yeah, thank you. All right, Mark.
My name is Mark Cowart. I am a filmmaker here in Phoenix. I'm director of photography and editor, have my own little production company. I've been here for about 10 years, producing video for about 25. Yeah. And Nashville first, and now Phoenix.
Yes, so good. Your work is incredible. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Okay, to get us warmed up a little bit, we're going to do some rapid fire questions, okay? Then we'll dive into the topic. So I'll kind of call one of you out, ask the question, and then the other two can piggyback off of that. You get, to think about it a little bit longer. Leila, let's start with you. What was the first thing you ever made that you were super proud of? You've made a lot.
Like, how far back?
Just like rewind the tapes and whatever pops in your head.
I think the first thing that I made that I remember right now is my first oil painting. When I didn't know how to paint. I never took lessons, but I was a kid in my parents' kitchen, just like, I want to start painting. So I still have the painting, and I'm still very proud of it because it's so unique and cool and just raw. It's not realism. It's that I never took lessons. So that's probably the first thing that comes to my mind that I'm like really proud of that I still have.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. Mark?
So funny enough, my very first short film, I got hired to learn video. I didn't know how to shoot. And I went back to, I already had a bachelor's degree and went back to film school. And I thought I can learn faster than that. So I did a film. Somebody invested some money in this. I shot it on 35 millimeter, which was like unbelievable. And I still, like, to this day, it's not amazing, but I'm just really proud of going out first time shooting on 35. And yeah, that was, I think that was the first thing, that I remember being really proud of.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
Risa, I can't wait to hear your answer.
I mean, it's probably pretty obvious, but probably my product, the rescue kit. I mean, it came from sewing a bride at the last second when she was walking down the aisle or about to walk down the aisle for first look. And I had to sew her in and wasn't even getting paid for that wedding. I was there just launching this day of dressing business, and it was really making something from nothing. I went home that night and was like, after sewing her in, if I didn't have my professional styling kit and the tools in my toolbox to save that moment for her, it wouldn't have happened. She wouldn't have walked down the aisle, she told me. And I just knew that if I was saving the day for her in that moment with my professional tools, this was probably happening to hundreds of other brides all over the world. And I went home that night and innovated, and my brain didn't turn off. And, the first product that we made was so shitty. The box was falling apart. We were super gluing it the night before it launched inside of Saks Fifth Avenue, inside this luxury pop-up concept. And my sister is my business partner, and we were literally super gluing these boxes together as we were putting them together. And there were like pieces of dirt and hair, and these boxes came from overseas. And we were like, I can't believe we're gonna sell this at Saks. And we were filling the boxes with stuff from Amazon that we were buying like crazy glue, and we didn't have any of our own products. And somehow, some way, I mean, I think all of my best friends bought them, but somehow, some way they sold, and we, now 7 years later have an actual product that we're really proud of. But I think back and I'm like, this is the cringiest product, but I saved it so I can look back and like put it in a museum in my house one day and say, this is where we started. So I'm so proud of where we started and where we're at now.
I am too. We were literally just talking before we started rolling cameras about this exact thing. It's like, you have to start somewhere. Even if it's not perfect, you have to start somewhere and put it out. And I can tell you, I know you've served a lot of brides and you're really big in the wedding market, but even from like a production standpoint and a personal standpoint, like I have a kit in my closet at home, and we have a bunch of kits here in the studio, but like, I'm always in that thing, like every week. It's like, there's always something that comes up wardrobe related where I'm like, thank God I have my rescue kit. Because you've literally thought of everything. It's because you've had the experience, like, firsthand. So
thank you.
Yeah, I'm grateful. I'm grateful you put it out there.
You've
served a lot of people that way.
Support.
Okay, Mark, what's your go-to caffeine order?
Iced Americano. Cream. Yeah.
Just sweet, any sweetener? Just straight up.
Yeah. Or black coffee. Like,
Okay.
I alternate depending on the season.
I love it.
Yeah.
Leila, what do you like to drink? What's your caffeine?
Energy drink.
Yeah, she rolls up with her Alani.
Have one every morning. I'm currently on the Bum brand.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
I don't know. They have like root beer and cream soda, so that's what I've been drinking lately.
Oh, I gotta try this.
Yeah.
Okay, I love it. Risa, you want to add to that?
Anything with coffee, iced coffee with some kind of almond milk or iced latte coffee 3 times a day. And then Laura cuts me off.
Yeah. She's like, that's enough.
Then my team says that's enough.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, Risa, what is a dream collaboration that you want to have?
Ooh,
I know.
gosh.
I got to hear this. Brand, person, what's like a collaboration that you're like, yes, on the vision board?
Yeah, I mean, I think what's interesting is that I am currently actively living out a dream collaboration right now. So I know that you didn't ask what are you doing right now, but a few years ago, I had, I don't know how woo people are, but an energy reader told me that David's Bridal was going to come into our lives, and it did. It was our first like big collaboration, and I actually, funnily enough, just went into the first like physical store here, and they're carrying one of our products. So it's been on the vision board. It was on the vision board. It was something that was spoken about a few years ago. And that to me was the ultimate, like, we want our product in all of those stores. So, there's tons of others. I guess, to answer your actual question, I think the type of resort or property where we could partner. We do partner with hotels and venues, and we sell to we sell to them and they gift to booking brides. So something like a Marriott or a Hilton or some kind of big box chain hotel that sees the vision, would co-brand with us, and would help us take it to the next level of being the amenity in hotels and, being the rescue kit, one-stop shop for all things, brides and guests, hotel guests. So
Yes.
some kind of big box hotel like that.
Okay, I love it. Do you guys have a dream collaboration?
Mine's Ferrari or F1.
Let's go.
Wow, that's awesome.
Love that.
That's what I'd like
Let's
to.
go.
I'd like to paint their cars. So I don't know if you know, Ferrari doesn't let you paint their cars. So like, if you buy one, you can't paint it.
Oh, wow.
And I'm really trying right now to work with them to be the first person to get approval to paint a car from them.
Dude.
And I would love to do it like if it was an F1, even for an event. But that's what I'm just gonna plant that seed there.
And can we come film it?
Yeah,
I'm like,
sure.
that would be
I was gonna say that's mine. She's my dream, my collaborator. I'll tell that story.
Yes. I love that so much. Dude, it's going to happen.
Working on it.
I see it.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, so good.
I think mine would be, so I have a production company. It's really just me, and I produce and direct. And I think, I don't have like a name, but I think a producing partner would probably be a dream collaboration so that I can work in either right brain or left brain.
Yeah.
But right now on most productions, I have to right, left brain, and it's not as fun.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I love that you brought that up. We'll dive into that a little bit more
Yeah.
too. Okay, Leila, what's one thing about your creative process that people would be kind of surprised to know?
I'm so unorganized. It doesn't even make sense. I think I drive my team crazy at work because they're like, you have an appointment or a meeting with this company. Do you have your designs yet? I'm like, I'm processing. And then it's like an hour before my meeting and I just whip something really good up. And they're like, how do you do this? So I'm very last minute, but it just comes to me. I don't know, but very, very unorganized with my thoughts, but it works somehow.
Yeah, well, because you've got a team that is very organized. That
Yes.
keeps you in check. So.
Yes, they are. I drive them crazy.
That's awesome. Mark, how about you?
Well, repeat the question for me.
Yeah,
It was,
what is one thing about your creative process that people might be surprised to know about? Like when you're in your creative zone?
I am organized, which is probably so I'm like the opposite of that in a lot of, and I think what it does is in my brain it frees me up because I can put things in their boxes or whatever, which opens up space for my creativity.
Yes. Okay, I love it. Risa, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, similar to you, I think a lot of creatives struggle with keeping their thoughts in order. I mean, I don't know how many people in this room feel that way. And, my director of operations is staring at me right now. And she's like, yeah, Leila just took your answer. But I think in addition to that, because I am a Virgo and it's organized chaos going on up there. And I think most creatives operate in that way where they're like, just trust me. The vision is there, and it will come to life. But for me, it's like I see the end of the story before it's actually happened. And so I think it's difficult for people that are around me to dissect what I'm actually saying and what I'm asking for. It's also difficult for my clients to trust me. And I think that's the hardest part about hiring a creative is that they often see the end of the road. They often see and they know they have this like all-knowing and this trust. And to get people to get on board with that is really difficult. So you have to prove yourself time and time again. And so for me, it's like I already know what the vision is, and then I just have to figure out how to relay that to the people around me so they can help assist me and help get it to the finish line.
Yep.
So there's this organized chaos going on that works for me, and you just have to hope that it works for your client and the people around you. So I'm very similar to you, Leila, I think, in that way.
Totally, yeah. Okay, last question for our rapid fire. Let's see if we can spit out a one-word answer with this one. Where do you feel most creative, Mark?
My studio.
Studio.
Bed.
Bed. Love it.
The car.
Car. Okay, I love it. That's great. I think a car's a really good one too, because you're like kind of zoned out when you shouldn't be. We just talked about this on another episode, I think, where I feel like we get a lot done in the car because you're focused only on one thing, which is driving your vehicle. And sometimes you daydream and think about all the million other things that you have to get done. All right, you guys. I'm going to start off with a question that I feel very excited to hear all of your answers, because when I think back to starting my video production agency and like having this passion to like just make a ton of videos and like tell a bunch of stories, and I like loved doing it so much that the thought of getting paid to do it, I was like, people would actually pay me to like do this because this is so much fun, right? And I had no idea, no business background, like no idea how to value myself, no idea how to price it out. I just wanted to make what I loved, right? So I don't know if any of you can relate to that, but I would love to hear kind of rewinding the tapes back in your early stages. Was there ever a time where you were kind of underpaid, worked for free, and how did that experience shape how you price yourself today in your creative ventures? Does anyone want to take that and run?
I can.
Yeah.
At least with art. So it's known to be like a starving artist, right?
Yeah.
And I joke that it's taken me 21 years to be an overnight success. But for years and years and years, I did free work for exposure. Come live paint. Someone, will maybe buy your painting at the event. And for years, I was doing that. Now, what it taught me was experience, that I was getting how to talk to people, just even packing up materials, taking places. I started hearing conversations up at different events. Also, with growing up in a furniture store, I also heard that conversation. So it taught me, I learned a lot along the way, but with the years of experience, what I did gain was a portfolio. Mm-hmm. So because I had a portfolio over time, when people started asking me like, hey, I saw you did this, let's say lion painting at this event, can you do it for me? Then I could start saying, well, yeah, but I'm going to charge this much. As time went on, I started raising my prices, but it did take time to build that portfolio. So, one advice I would give if anyone was to ask me is, I'm not saying to do work for free for a long time, but take the opportunities and use it as a growth and also marketing for yourself, like building a name to a point. Obviously, don't be starving forever, but it takes time to build that portfolio. So I don't regret any of that. I don't regret the time that I spent doing all that. I'm talking years of free work, years of paying for materials out of my pocket and everything, but it paid off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are there any opportunities that you've seen even later in your career where you've been like, okay, maybe I'll give, or now it's like, no, you're like firm and rooted in your pricing? Because there's always like those
Depends.
levers. I know, true.
It depends.
Okay.
Like if Nike came to me right now, I was
Yeah.
like, will you paint one of our shoes? We're not going to paint you, but you're going to be in every like NBA, and I'd be like, yes.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, there are certain things, again, in my head, I'm looking at it as marketing my name. That's how I'm looking at it versus just like, I'm not getting paid for this. So it depends on the
like what
opportunity.
is the exposure?
Yeah.
Like how do you measure that?
Yeah. Now if someone's like, do you want to come paint my backyard for free, a picture of my dog? That's a hard no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no. And at this point, no. I used to do it just for practice for me, but no.
Totally. Yeah. Okay. How about one of you two?
Yeah, I took a pay cut. I had a bachelor's degree and a job and took a pay cut to get into video, and it was about half of what I was making. And to learn, I started working for free on set. So I was just calling people and saying, hey, I just want to learn, and I feel like if you're going to last any amount of time in the creative world, you definitely have to be able to work for less than what you feel like you're worth. Even when you have figured out what your value is, there's times where either financially you just need the paycheck or something that you really want to do for whatever the reasons are. So yeah for sure.
Was there a particular time on set or shoot or some opportunity that you had where you're like, oh no, not like I won't be looking back anymore at that. You know what I mean? What did that look like for you?
Like to transition into,
Yeah, full production. Because you've been on some wild, awesome sets. Like your work is incredible.
oh, thank you. It's just been a journey. Like I don't think there was ever like, okay, this is it.
Yeah.
You know, there's always been the dream, you know, and every project that I do, there's always like a comparison to what the dream might be. And there's times you have to do stuff you don't want to do, and it's for a paycheck or whatever. But I think in the last probably 2-3 years, I've started to shift a little bit, 20 some years into this, where I'm starting to figure out what I'm better at, because I'm a jack of all trades. And so I'm starting to figure out, oh, I should probably lead more into this over that and farm that out.
Yeah.
So
Risa, we've had a lot of talks on our canal walks about this topic, but knowing you have a creative product-based company, something that you've created that is a product, and also your service-based styling, I would love to hear your perspective on how you have navigated your value, your pricing, all of that too.
Yeah, I mean, Rescue Kit is still pre-revenue. So we're 7 years in and we are still a pre-revenue bootstrapped company that is going to be a very slow build. Like I always say, like the longer it takes to make money, like I think the more longevity you'll have in the industry, and it's more of a lasting brand. But for my personal business, my money-making business, you know, I think if you aren't prepared to not be making money for the majority of like that chunk of time, that 5 to 10 year period, like if you're not prepared for that, then you're not prepared to be an entrepreneur. First of all, you're going to go through so many waves and ups and downs of changing your services or changing your skill, or maybe you're a jack of one trade for the first year and then you're a jack of the other trade that you're really good at, because I would imagine that all of us as creatives in this room wear a lot of hats and are good at a lot of things. So I think, you know, you're constantly doing this push and pull of like, what is my business? What are my offerings? And maybe you're making money for a couple of years with one thing and you're making great money and it's doing awesome, and then you get burned out by that and you're like, I got to change my service offerings, because I don't know about you guys, but I've done this many times, right? I see people nodding. So it's been a journey, and I always say, and you know, I just keep calling Laura out because she's right here in the front row, and she's come in at a really interesting time in my business where we are making money and we are seeing revenue. But I joke that it's taken like the entirety of my time as an entrepreneur to finally start to see the money. Like I'm getting paid now in my 14th year of business for the last 14 years. I'm finally getting paid. That's how it feels. And I think that's what happens with that overnight success that you were mentioning, Leila, is like, people look at you and they're like, oh, she's killing it. I'm like, if you only knew.
Oh, totally.
If you only knew.
No one sees
it. No one sees that. But they do see you building your portfolio and making a name for yourself and marketing yourself and putting yourself out there, because a good entrepreneur will always make you think that they're bringing in the bank, right? Like the money's overflowing, and you know you're doing video and you're doing marketing and you're out there, and people say you're everywhere, you're doing everything, and it's like, yeah, not all of that is making me money. So it's definitely been a journey, and I do think that when you pick and choose, back to your what should you do pro bono and what shouldn't you, you're always going to get those offers from people to do that. They're never going to stop asking you to do work for free. But the value of that ROI of whatever that thing is going to probably increase over time. So yeah, when Nike calls you or F1 calls you tomorrow, because they're going to hear this podcast.
Yeah.
No, literally. That value has gone up for you. Whereas like the dog mural, although I would take all the money for the dog mural if I could paint. But yeah, it's like the value of that will go up because your portfolio has gone up. So I think we're always going to see those fluctuations, but yeah, you get to pick and choose, just like you get to pick and choose your clients, your projects, like, because you've earned it, you know?
Yeah. I know as you're talking, it kind of reminded me how like throughout, because I've had the video production company for 10 years, like this is 10 years now. And I'm looking back on the journey and I'm like, man, every time I like hit another milestone financially, I would just look for ways to spend it.
Yeah.
Like whether it's camera gear or opening a studio or
Always-
like what are
always
some
camera
other
gear.
ways that I can
Always.
reinvest more to like expand the creativity. Like right now my mind's on how can I buy a DJ deck to become a DJ? It's like what else can I do to flex my creativity and how can I reinvest into it, in other ways. So
But you're investing back into yourself and it's the whole spend money to make money thing, I think too. Like, and that's what makes you happy. Now you can do that. You couldn't do that. You couldn't add that hobby in, which you have to have as an entrepreneur, and that hobby can make you additional money.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anybody else in the room struggles with this, but like, it's that like, but now I can buy this, so I'm going to, but it's always going to lead to something bigger and better that like grows you. So I don't think there's anything wrong. Buy the DJ deck.
I know she's like my biggest cheerleader over here to make it happen, but also to say like to keep the inspiration and the spark alive too, because as creatives, I don't know if any of you can relate. I'm sure you can, but sometimes we get in a rut at times, and I'm sure there are different ways that everybody can like get re-inspired. And for me, like that's music right now. Like I vibe high when I'm like finding new tracks, and so I want to pursue that. I want to follow that. So let's segue into that. Knowing you all are very talented creatives, and this was a question that someone had asked in the audience, I would love to know when you're in a rut, what does that look like for you? When you're kind of hitting a wall or you have a block, how do you get yourself out of those creative ruts? What inspires you? Where do you tap into inspiration? Anyone want to go first?
I think to me it depends on what the project is that I'm hitting a rut. Is it something that I'm trying to do for personal work or passion, or is it something that a client has paid me for? And then what part of the process am I in when I hit the rut, if it's editing or, planning or whatever. But a lot of times I just move to a different part. Like editing is probably an easy one for me to talk about because that's where I do hit ruts, is in the editing process, especially if there's not really a script. It's like, hey, here are 10 interviews, and here's a pile of footage. I need you to go tell generally this ethereal story. And it's just a lot of putting a puzzle together without the picture. And so I tend to break it up in chunks, and I'll work on the beginning. A lot of times, if I can nail the ending, so I'll go to, if I feel like I can get the ending, a lot of times that'll inspire me for the rest of it. So.
Oh, yeah. I love that. Leila, how about you? Do you ever get in creative
Oh,
ruts?
yeah.
Okay, tell me about this.
Okay. I get burnt out.
Okay.
So when I get burnt out, it's usually for a client project, and it may not even be during the project. It may be after the project. And what I have found is, which it's so crazy because as an artist, like you want to get hired to do commission work, and you get so many jobs that all of a sudden you're like, I haven't painted for myself in 5 years. I haven't picked up a paintbrush and just painted what's in my heart for myself. So after my big high-rise mural, and some other jobs, I got burnt out. I didn't want to pick up a paintbrush for 6 months. Like after the thing, I didn't want to do any art-related projects. I was getting calls to do murals, and there was something in me, I'm like, I don't want to take work. So I channeled what my original art was my Silent Speaks collection, or just sketching in a notepad, or just poetry, or just something that wasn't getting paid. So once I started for a little bit doing just non-paid work for myself, it almost like recharged my battery. And I was like, okay, I'm ready to take on commissions again. So I have found essentially going back to the root of real art, which was what was in here, not paid work, but doing that is what helped me get out of my burnouts or ruts or whatnot.
Yeah.
Can I ask,
Yeah.
like, do you work consistently on stuff that you're passionate about, or is that always sprinkled in with client work? Or?
It has to be sprinkled in. So it depends on timing. But so for example, let's say right now I'm doing a lot of epoxy tables. It's heavy chemicals. My back hurts. It's very whatnot. I will go lay on the ground for a little bit, and then I'll go in my notes on my phone, and I'll just start like coming up with ideas. I'll go home and start sketching in a notepad, just stuff, right? That I know no one's gonna see it. It's not gonna get paid. I don't need to worry about anyone's
You're creating.
whatever. That's what helps me. But I do sprinkle that in now throughout all my projects.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But you have to be able to manage your time in order to do that, right? Like to have the freedom.
Yeah,
You're
my
not-
time is so. I don't even want to talk about my time management. That's a whole other topic. It's a whole other.
Okay. Maybe okay, Risa, tell us about how you tap into inspiration when you feel in a rut.
I am in a rut right now. I will share that. I am in a style rut because I spend so much time styling other people, and I do get so burned out as well. I'm like, what is my style right now? And when my clients ask me this, I'm always like, you don't have to know your style. We'll just invest in really great pieces, and we'll get some vintage, and we'll sprinkle in some pieces. And now that I'm in that rut, I'm like, I know exactly what they mean. So when I'm in a rut like that, I shed. I'm like, we're gonna be doing this at my house soon. Shed all the stuff that like does not feel good to me. And the other thing I do is put a bunch of stuff on my social calendar because my battery does get so burned out. So I'll just put a bunch of like trips and weekends and things, and I'll just load my social calendar with things that are like taking me outside of the workspace, because I tend to go so hard into work that I just forget that there's a life outside of work, and I'm really trying to do that as much as possible. But yeah, it is that creative rut. I don't often get in that style, like what's my style rut, but I'm in it right now, and I'm like, when in doubt, denim.
Like you would never know looking at honestly, Risa. I was like,
It happens.
even going on hot girl walks, I'm like, damn, I look like a homeless person.
That is not true. Whatever, I dress you. I know, I'm just kidding.
Okay, I want to shift gears, kind of talking more about working with clients and understanding your value. How do you guys handle clients or collaborators who don't really like understand the value of the work that you do? Does that ever come across even now being so established?
Yes.
Never.
Okay. Tell us about that.
I will share my experience. I've had clients come to me and say, can you do this? Or can you do some sort of project? And I'm like, yes. Well, I already got 6 other quotes. And I'm like, okay, mine is probably going to be the most expensive one. So I tell them that up front.
Yeah.
I usually give them a price, and then they're like, oh, well, let's just say I said like 10,000 for something. Well, 5 other people said they'll do it for 1,000. I'm like, you should go hire those 5 other people. Thank you so much. I don't want to have this conversation. Which then they usually come back and they're like, well, can you do it for like 8? And I'm like, what happened to the other 5 people that are going to do it? Well, we want to hire you. I'm like, well, this is my price. I don't budge anymore.
No, for sure.
But it happens all the time of just like discounting. And it comes like once you realize the value of your time, and you're never going to get your time back, I rather not do work and just sit on a sofa and stare at nothing than spend my time doing something for someone it's actually not valued.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it now. Again, 5 years ago, I would probably would have had a different answer for you. But I'm at a point where I'm also like trying to respect myself as a person and respect my time. And I want to give work to someone who values it. And even if it's something like, hey, Leila, I really want your painting. I can't afford it right now. This is my budget. I rather work with them on that than coming at me like, well, I got lower quotes. Because that automatically, I'm just like, then go.
Yes.
That's me.
I love that. It never fails. It's like, even because we experience this too, like even when we get clients that we budge on the budget a little bit, and like, I don't want to say the cheaper clients, but it's the clients that like negotiate the price down a little bit lower. They're always the biggest pain in the ass.
Yes.
Whereas the clients that actually like don't even flinch at our pricing and they're like, go ahead, they're like the easiest ones to work with because they value you. You know, they respect you from the very beginning. So I relate to that big time. How about you guys, from your perspective?
It's funny. The first thing that I would do is discount my rate because I'm like, well, I can charge less. And what I've started to do is remove services or remove things that are in the budget that it's like, yes, we can do that if that's your budget, but it's going to look more like this. We need to adjust the scope instead of just saying, okay, I can work for less.
Yeah.
You know,
For sure.
I had a guy send me a text and it was just like a one line, hey, how much would it cost for you to do a video of me talking to myself? You know, like an editing gag. That's literally all the information he gave me. And so I kind of knew his background, knew he couldn't afford a lot. So I gave him a quote. that was very restricted in how we had to pull it off. And we went back and forth. And then he finally sends me the example that he wants me to do. And it was made by like Wyden and Kennedy, who like represent Nike and all this stuff. And it was like, what in the world? Like, these are like, we're two different universes here.
Yeah.
So I didn't do the job.
But people don't understand.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to educate because they're not in our world. They're not, I feel like we do that a lot. Right, Nikki? Always educating. Yes. How about you, Risa?
Yeah, I mean, there's that saying, like, your lack of budget is not my problem. But guess what? As a creative, it is my problem. I take it to bed every night. I'm like, oh my gosh. And, it takes a team around you to say, like, no, we're not budging on that price. But what is it about people still seeing creatives as, like, just being, like, hobby makers? Like, we're just, it's just a hobby. Oh, she loves fashion. I'm just going to DM her and be like, what should I wear tomorrow? And there's such a lack of respect for what we do as actual businesses. People just see creatives as people who have a hobby that they happen to make money on, and it's like, how do we cross that threshold and get over that bridge of like proving to people our worth and it's not just our time, but it's our talent, and it's our years and years and years of like blood, sweat, and tears. So I struggle with this all the time. Like it's a topic of conversation, I would say daily at our office, like daily. People asking for a discount, and I always say the minute we tell them, no, this is our hard and final, like we're not budging, we get the email back. This just happened the other day. I had a wedding planner whom I'm doing 2 weddings with this year ask me, I know there's probably not much you can do, but for this July bride, after they were going to do my full package at the top rate, they were like, oh, they just looked a little closer at your prices and, it's out of their budget. I'm like, so sad for them that it's not going to work out when there's, going to be at a hotel that costs $1,000 a night to stay in. But, and I said, I'm going to go ahead and leave that date blocked as a courtesy in the event that this bride changes her mind. Mm-hmm. And what kind of email do you think we got the next day? Mm-hmm. Well, they're revisiting the whole situation because the minute you stand your ground and you tell them no, it's like telling a child, like setting boundaries for a child. It's the same thing. Totally. They're like, okay, I'll fall in line now. Yeah. But you have to know it. And I think that's at the core of all of this, is that you have to know your worth so other people can celebrate your worth as well. And they can see that you believe in yourself, because it's just sometimes getting over that hump of like, oh, they know their worth. So, okay, I get it now.
There's a perspective I also want to say, because I have a retail store and I work with very high-end clients. I get asked for discounts on my furniture all day long. This is, they have the money. It's not a money issue, but I've realized with them, they want to make sure they get the best value. So let's say if I have a sofa that's, again, $10,000, them asking me just what's your best price costs them nothing. But in that moment, if I'm like, oh, are they going to walk out? And I'm like, okay, I'll give you like $1,000 off. That costs them nothing. But for me, because I was like panicking or whatever, and they're like, cool, I was going to buy it anyway.
Yeah.
So I just saved $1,000. So for like creatives, if you take that perspective and just say like, okay, they're not necessarily, sometimes they really want a better price. But that's why sometimes I ask like, is it a budget issue? Is it just, are you trying to save money? If, maybe there's other artists I can refer you to. So just keep in mind too, some of it is just, they're just seeing if they can do, it costs them nothing to ask for a discount.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, that's a great perspective from
To
the other
just be
side.
like, you can still say no, you can say, no, this is my price. And they're like, okay.
Yeah.
But again, if at that moment you're having that thing of like, oh, are they going to walk away? And you're like, yeah, okay, I'll do it for half price, or I'll do it for whatever. It costs them nothing to ask that question.
I do struggle with, though, like on the other side of that, like, does somebody walk into Neiman Marcus and say, like, can I get a cheaper rate on this dress?
Some people do.
It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like, I find that to be appalling. Like, you can't do that, though. Right. Like, there's an MSRP price on that dress. So why are you doing that to a small business owner who is paying all their own bills? Like, it blows my mind. Yeah. It blows my mind. It is an education side of things. I hear what you're saying, but like, I feel sad for us sometimes. Yeah. I feel sad.
But that's where I say like to keep to just say, no, this is my price.
Yeah.
And I usually offer, if you're looking for like a lower, I usually say, I know other artists I can refer you to.
Yeah.
So I'm giving them an option for a lower price. It's just not me.
Not you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
when
usually
the
they're
time
like,
comes around and they're like, okay, budget is XYZ. Now I can afford Leila, or now
Yeah.
I can afford. Then they'll come back to you.
right.
We're literally dealing with like the same exact situation right
Yeah.
now, where it's hard to like bite your tongue a little bit because you're like, hold on a second. I know you can afford. I know you know the value, but whatever. Send them free, and then
Yeah.
when the time is right, they'll probably come back, and at least you set your ground on and boundaries on what your pricing is.
It's always amazing to me what my bank account looks like, how much it plays into my ability to say no sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's so much easier to say no when things are good and
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
than if it's been 3 months since I've had a job.
Yeah.
And that depends. One thing I always say, again, in furniture retail is the power that your client has is to not buy from you or to like cancel a sale. So if you take that power away from them if someone's saying, I want a discount, be like, you know what, maybe we're not a good fit. You just took their power away from them. And then all of a sudden they're like, wait, no, I do want to hire you. What's your price? So there's a psychological aspect to, even as a creative, the sales side of it. So that's something to just also keep in mind, to take that power away from them. If they're starting to nickel and dime you or say this or start saying, well, there's other studios, great, you should go hire them.
Yeah.
And then they're suddenly like, wait, you just took my negotiating tool away.
Yeah, that's powerful.
There's something we're working on right now in our office too, and that's being stronger at selling what we are offering. And I think like amping up our deck and really being responsible for selling it too, and like and showing them the value and really proving that value too. Like, we need a brand video, people need to see me in action at a wedding so they understand what they're paying for. So the responsibility too of the salesperson is to, you know, sell yourself and to sell your furniture or to sell your service and show them the value too. So there's responsibilities on all ends, but you hope that, you know, your customer can show up and not question you and not, you know, but they're always going to go to battle. I think they're going to try. They're always going to try, and it doesn't hurt to try.
It costs them nothing to
Yep,
ask.
it costs
Totally.
them nothing to ask. Exactly.
I love it. I don't love it, but I love it. Okay, I would love to know, what's one financial mistake you made early on that you really want to warn emerging creatives about? And this will be fun perspective because you guys are all in like different creative industries and avenues, but what's a big financial mistake you made early on that you're like, oh, I would give warning, might not want to do that?
I have so many, but I think the thing that I would say right now, I don't know how I would have changed this, but I think not creating cash, like some buffer so that you have cash flow.
Yeah.
In the beginning, would change everything for me, just because you don't feel desperate, you know, for the next paycheck or whatever, which you start falling into those, yes, whatever, you know.
Yes.
I think that's what I try to tell if I talk to young filmmakers. You've got to have a buffer.
Yeah.
Because it's such an inconsistent flow sometimes.
Yeah.
So.
What is a safe buffer? Do you have like?
I guess that depends on
your life.
your style and and all that. I mean, I would love to be 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, but good gracious, that's a lot. So I think 3 is probably like.
Yeah. I guess
Because I mean, I've had 3 months, 4 months, like 0 calls.
Yeah.
And that gets pretty tight.
If that is not your zone of genius and your brain doesn't operate that way, like me.
Yeah.
What is some kind of support? Where could you like find that support to help you get to that space of having a buffer of 3 to 6 months?
I don't know. If you find it, let me know.
Okay. Because I will say, I did find, we recently hired like a fractional CFO for our company, and I'm like, why the fuck didn't I do this sooner? Because that's how her brain operates. I mean, she's all finances. So yes, like the thought of paying the amount that I'm paying is scary, but like actually what she's saving us in the long run is like massive.
I just got a bookkeeper like 2-3 years ago.
Okay,
so
yeah.
I'm a little bit behind you.
Yeah, but finding that those people that are, I think that's something that I would probably on that work to piggyback off of you is I wish I would have found someone like a financial support
Yeah.
for my business operations to help create that buffer and to help with our margins and all of that sooner. Okay, how about you guys? What's one financial mistake you made early on that you would want to warn?
I didn't make this mistake, but I saw people making this mistake. I think a lot of artists think they have to have like a professional studio to start.
Yeah.
And that's expensive. And
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't need to put that money in a studio. I'd rather you put that money in social media ads or marketing or something before you're just like, well, in order for me to become an artist, I need to, like, I painted in my garage for a long time. I painted in my living room. I still paint, like, you know, you don't need all, let's just say the like top level equipment right away. So I know a lot of people are like, in order to make, let's say, good videos or good what, you know, I need the best. You don't need the best right away. I would say I rather you invest that money in marketing.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to come back to that in a sec.
Yeah, I mean, not having the bookkeeper right away, oof. It really hurts. So having like regular meetings with my accountant has changed my life. I think also as a wardrobe stylist, this doesn't probably pertain to anybody else in this room, but it might. People could relate with like overhead costs, but for me, it was the structure of my business, purchasing for clients and bringing things to them and not necessarily putting it on their cards right away because there's just this like protocol in the styling world that you are responsible for purchasing things and bringing it to them for fittings. And I lost so much money on returns or damaged items or just the overhead of being a wardrobe stylist. So if anybody out there does listen to this and they want to get into that field, the minute I switched that procedure up and started having clients put things on their card, and you know, this could probably be the same for a lot of people in equipment and businesses, that was a game changer for me because that was I took such a huge financial hit. I went into debt with some credit cards early on. I just felt like, oh man, I need to bring all this designer stuff to photo shoots and to my clients, and it really put me in a pickle.
So you just let them know ahead of time?
In terms of
The procedure, like this is how it's going to work.
this is how it works. The procedure is told to them on how we do everything now. There are no secrets. Like, this is how we operate. This is how bookings go. Things are going to be on your card. I don't take that financial responsibility on. I'll handle returns, but it's just not the way anymore necessarily. People aren't bringing big hauls as much. I mean, some stylists still do, but the smart ones don't. Sorry, out there.
Putting you out. Okay, thank you for that. That's super, super valuable. So this is kind of piggybacking off of what you were talking about, Leila. There's a lot of pressure to be visible online. How much of your success would you attribute to your craft versus your personal brand?
70-30, 70 being visibility.
Okay.
I always say this, I'm not the most talented artist. I'm really good at marketing. I'm really good at networking. There are artists that I know in town right now that are 1,000 times more talented than me. The problem is they don't have they're not putting their work out there. They don't know how to network. I'm out all the time. I mean, time management isn't great, but I'm like socializing a lot and I'm meeting people and I'm like, I'm an artist. Do you need a mural? Do you need epoxy bar tops? I can paint a mannequin for you. Would you like constantly just putting it out there.
Yeah.
My success in 2018, I started doing Instagram ads.
Yeah.
Like back when it wasn't as big, I put, I don't know, $20 a week in it. And that's what kind of took me off was marketing. My paintings are cool, but they're not like, you're not looking at it and being like, oh my gosh, this belongs in a museum or anything like that. But the thing is, people are buying me.
Yeah.
That's what I realized. I've sold my story. I've told them my history. I want to inspire people. So people are like, I want to support her. Let's get one of her paintings. So that I would say 70% is marketing and just telling your story. 30% is actually talent. Talent.
Yeah. I will say it was pretty epic. Leila did a live painting at our studio grand opening, which was like the most epic thing on
That's
earth.
cool.
And I do look at that painting every single day.
Yeah.
And it does belong in an art gallery, which is our
Thank
studio.
you. Thank you.
But that's a really good point. Okay, I would love to hear your perspective on this, both of you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would agree that I am also not the most talented stylist, but that people, I mean, I feel like a lot of our answers are very similar tonight. Like, are you me and I am you? But no, I mean, I would agree with that. I think just the body of work in and of itself, like what you put out there, like who you're working with, for me personally, because I know that I'm not the most talented stylist, but I know that I'm good to work with and have integrity. And it is about, I don't even post that much, so I can't blame it on visibility. I don't have a ton of visibility. But the body of work that I have done, I have also built my entire career on network. Who I know, who I'm in the room with, who I have thrown myself at to work with. So yeah, for me, it's definitely about putting myself out there and putting myself in the room without a doubt.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know how to do an Instagram ad, really. That is terrible. I'm going to chat with you after.
Can I join?
Yeah, we'll have a little tutorial.
I hope you didn't all come here for that.
Mark, do you have any thoughts?
That's such a pain point for me too, because I prefer invisibility.
Yeah.
I mean, this makes me extremely uncomfortable.
I'm proud of you.
I know, thank you. I appreciate it. But I just, I don't put myself out there enough, and certainly probably feel the pain of that.
Yeah.
You know, but.
And I'd say most artists don't, or a lot of creatives are so worried about what people are gonna think or judge. And I'm telling you, I've gotten all the hate messages in the world of like, you suck, you're not talented. And I'm like, but I'm still getting paid.
Yeah.
I'm still getting hired. So thank you for hating me.
Yeah.
I got fans. But once you kind of get over the just like rejection aspect, I always say like, take no as a speed bump and not a stop sign.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are just like, this one person doesn't like me, I'm never going to paint again. It's like, who cares?
Yeah.
Just keep doing it.
Yes.
Great.
Totally. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go to a couple more questions that were asked by our studio audience. We are in Arizona. And one of the questions was, how do you deal with slow business in Arizona? Like, we feel it with our video production company. It's just like, I don't know, it's a seasonal thing where the summers kind of get slow. I'm curious if you guys feel that too, and how you navigate that.
I used to feel that. I haven't lately, only because of the amount of weddings I'm booking. So, and we have implemented a procedure in the office where every month, the first of the month, I am now sending my availability out to wedding planners and people and saying, these are my open dates for the rest of the year. And I think the more you can remain top of people's mind and tell them, hey, I'm available for you. This is what we're available for. This is like our new deck. Forcing myself on people, because even though the wedding industry slows down in the summer here, I'm still booking in other states and traveling. So a lot of my private clients will be gone for the summer, and that's hard. So a couple of the ways we mitigate that is to, number one, be in front of their faces at all times. Number two, book people on retainers. So they are with me on a retainer monthly as much as possible. Even when they're gone for the summer, it supplements. And I think like, the last thing is to just continue to reach out to the clients who have booked you in the past and don't forget about them, and don't always focus your energy on what's new, what's exciting, and who you desire to work with. Think about the people who have helped you get to where you are and continue to stay in front of them, because they are the ones who have kept you afloat for all this time. So we always keep a whiteboard in the office of people that are existing clients, existing retainers, existing hourly clients, and stay on top of those people, as well as like wedding planners and who we can constantly be in touch with.
Yeah.
And I think if you're going after the business, it will continue to come to you. Even if you think you can rest on your laurels, I still think there's always somebody who you wowed at some point that will want to have you back.
Yes, I love that. How about you guys? And maybe not even like Arizona summer. Someone listening might be in Minnesota. It could be thriving in the summer. But when you have those slow seasons.
I do a lot of commercial work. So actually summer here is busy because most places are doing renovations and whatnot. They want to hire me in the summer because their business is slow. So I actually do a lot of work, but furniture wise, we're slow in the summer.
Yeah.
So I plan ahead, like now knowing that we're not going to be having like, will be a little bit slow. Like July is pretty slow for us. We just budget.
Yeah.
We just budget for it.
Yeah. Mark.
This is a bit more aspirational, but the slow times, I typically just spend that time stressing or emailing or whatever. that's what I do. But I'm trying to lean more into using that time for my own creative projects,
Yes.
for writing, for developing stuff that I want to do versus what somebody else wants me to do. And that success ebbs and flows. But I literally just had like a decent chunk of dry period and spent 5 to 8 hours a day writing. And that was just, I had to get over the hump of the first couple days.
Yeah.
And then it was like, this is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just wish I was making money.
Yeah, totally. No, I relate to that too. I feel like when we're in slower seasons, and especially in the summer, we always plan our team photo shoot in the summer. Like somehow we just get time and space to be like, oh, we've been wanting to do this for our own brand and business for forever. Now we have the time to do it. So I feel like that's where we kind of lean into it, which kind of segues me into another question from our studio audience, which was, where is it? Oh yeah. How do you make time to create for your own business when you're fully booked and busy creating for other businesses and clients? What are your thoughts on that?
You have to time, like, again, don't listen to me, but in a perfect world, just the same way I make appointments for myself and I block out, like, let's say I blocked out today.
Yeah.
I would block out time to create.
Yeah.
I don't do that, but I'm just saying that's the advice that I would.
Giving myself some advice.
That's what I would advise to do.
I love it. Yeah.
Do as I say, not as I do. I rely on my team to tell me when I need to take breaks for myself. I don't get a lot of creative time for myself. I am constantly pouring into other people. So the summer is a good time, I think, to play catch up. It's like school break, right? It's like, oh, yeah, all the things that you want to do, that you like revamping the website. I talked to my accountant today. She's like, this summer you need to revamp the website and you need to think about new marketing materials. So, but I don't get a lot of time creatively to myself. But if I am getting it, it's getting blocked by somebody on my team. Otherwise, I will never take
Not
it.
do it.
Not a
Yeah.
chance. Not a chance.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do right now because I had a slow period, but I've got 3 weeks where I'm going to be nonstop. And I'm trying to keep some momentum to the project that I just was working on, even if it's like, if I can give myself an hour a day, you know, write one page, you know, just consistency.
Yeah.
I'm not amazing at it, but ask me in 3 weeks.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go circle back on that. Okay, at what age did you finally see yourself as successful in your own terms? This is another question from our studio audience. At what age? And maybe like define success. I don't know. Has that evolved throughout the years of your creative journey? Yeah, what does that look like?
I went all in on my art career at 33. I had $80,000 of credit card debt. I had to borrow money from friends to make it. I had left the family business and was just posting online every day until someone's like, can you come do a mural? And I'm like, I've never spray painted, but sure. And I quoted so low. I forgot the question. What was the question? Because I just like totally just went into like
a whole
my whole past, and it was just like flashing. I'm sorry. What was
defining success. At what age?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I think for me, it was the point that people were calling me for work, and I got to pick and choose my jobs.
Yeah.
It wasn't a dollar amount that I was making. It was just when I was like, people know who I am, and I get to pick and choose my jobs, which was about starting 4 or 5 years ago. So yeah.
Cool. I love that. How about you guys?
It's funny when you asked me to do the panel, you know, how to turn your passion into a lucrative career. I'm like, well, define lucrative.
True, right? It's
You
like
know, and it's funny. I think I have 2 answers to it. One, I haven't yet, because I started wanting to make movies, and you know, and then you get a family and you have to pay bills and all the things. So that's something I kind of tinker and play at, and someday maybe. But to me, success now, looking back, I have 4 kids, so I've been able to, for 25 years, 6 years, support a family of 6 and still continue doing what I'm doing
Yeah.
and not had to make the hard pivot, which there were a couple times I'm like, I think I'm going to go to Home Depot, or whatever. That to me is a version of success that,
Yes.
that I'm allowed to still get to do
Yeah.
this,
Yes.
That's huge. That's
I
huge.
love that, Risa.
I definitely thought I was successful at 21 when I launched my first business. I think I had rose-colored glasses on, but the minute I left home and I started my first business doing hair and makeup for weddings. I told people that's what I did. I had a little flimsy business card made that called me a personal stylist, and in my eyes, I was the biggest success that I have ever been, and I never looked back since then. And I've always felt in my mind that even though I wasn't getting paid, air quotes, that I was successful because I was breaking away from the norms of finishing that 4-year degree at the time, which I did end up doing. But to me, success meant that I was off on my own. I was supporting myself. I was making enough money to pursue a passion. And that was how I defined success. I have never defined my success by a dollar, ever. I don't see money as what makes us successful. I see freedom. I see creativity. I see the ability to change my mind at any point in time, to put myself in any room that I dream of putting myself in. And so for me, I have been hands down successful since the minute I left home and was like, I'm launching a business.
Yeah.
That to me was the start of it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so good. I'm going to open it up to the studio audience. If anyone has questions, I'll ask one more question and then we'll go to the audience if you guys have anything that you want to ask before we wrap things up. But there's a question on here that someone asked when they purchased the ticket that talks about the desire to have their shoots booked out at least a month in advance so that way they could plan their own life. But knowing a lot of clients will want to book last minute with a day's, maybe a week's notice. That happens to us a lot too. Does that happen to you all? How do you manage it? Give us some insight. Do you allow it? Do you not? Give us your thoughts.
Oh, man. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens all the time. Now I'm at the stage where it's a physical impossibility for me to do anything within a week only because of the level of clientele that I have, right? So everybody is scheduled out a month in advance if they're on a retainer with me, which is how I structure my business now. And I cannot squeeze somebody in within a week unless they are paying me an exorbitant amount of money and I happen to have that time and space, because I am not at the point where I want to get screamed at by somebody for letting them down and setting expectations too high and not being able to deliver. Everything is planned and scheduled so I can preserve my sanity, and so expectations and agreement are in alignment. I used to do those 5 o'clock alarm things for new clients at the drop of a dime. If they are an existing client and they need something, I will drop whatever I can to make it happen. But this new client business of last minute Lucy's, hit the road, Jack. Not even happening. Don't even send it to Daryl. Okay. Anyway, yeah.
No, I'm laughing because literally 30, 45 minutes before everyone started arriving tonight, I got a message from a current client, so it should feel better. But for a shoot tomorrow morning, and normally I'd be like, there's no fucking way. But then there's also these opportunities where I'm like, hell yes, I will restructure my morning and, to be able to do that, because it's last minute for her, but also would be awesome for us. So
If you can do
I think
it,
it's
great.
situational, right?
If you
Yes.
can make
You
it
gotta-
happen, you
Yes.
can't. You can't.
Yeah,
If you're
and
getting
it's
paid.
someone that that you're they value you, that way, and you already have that established relationship. I feel like,
It's a feather in your cap, but make sure you're getting paid.
yeah, for sure. How about you guys?
I take it one at a time. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
have a blanket. This is what I have to have. But if it is last minute, truly, and I see that it's going to be more than what they think it's going to be, if I can at all, just hey, here's somebody else that could probably handle that. But yeah, I like to plan too, and then there's just the reality of putting on a production, depending on what the scale of it is. But if I can do it, I will.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't plan anything, so it's just more like, Leila, I'm opening a restaurant. You need a mural? Yeah. Okay, when is it opening? In 3 days. Okay. Well, if I don't have anything going on, I'll go work all night.
Yeah.
I'll pull all-nighters and do it if I don't have anything going on. But if I do, I'll refer them to someone.
Yeah. Can you share because your murals are all over the place.
Yeah.
Can you share a few so that way when people go to these establishments, they'll be like,
I painted the tallest mural in America. It's on First Avenue in McKinley. It's 230 feet high. It's on the Saya building. It's a woman's face. It's my eyes. But that one's the one right now people really know me about. But in Old Town Scottsdale, I've done like bar tops at Schmooze, murals at Wasted Grain, outside of tons of bars. If you actually look at the names, you'll see Leila Parnian. I have stuff in Phoenix. I have stuff in all over. Like if you start kind of looking at names, you'll start seeing.
you're now going to see everywhere you turn.
I will be
There's
looking.
Leila.
Hotel Adeline. I did 20 murals in there.
Wow.
The Westin in downtown Phoenix, it just says 1912, but that's my mural. So you'll start seeing. Elefante, yeah.
Nook, didn't you do the?
Yep.
Yeah.
See, I don't even remember. Yep. Yes and yes.
Yes. I love it. Okay, I want to turn it over to our audience. Does anyone have some questions that they want to weigh in on? Yeah, let's go. We'll bring a mic over to you.
When you guys are assessing a new client or a new partner, what are some red flags you look for?
That's a good one. Red flags. How do you pick them up?
Sending Wyden and Kennedy references for this guy that sent me the text with, can you film me having a conversation with myself? I asked for his timeline, and it was like, this was on a Monday, and he wanted it shot, edited, and published on a Thursday to a Friday of the same week.
Oh, Lord, help.
I mean, that's an extreme example, but it's like, yeah, I don't know that I'm your guy.
Yeah.
But I think unrealistic timelines a lot of times, if you have the ability, is probably a red flag for me.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, can I add one? One that just popped up into my head is like if someone is kind of like flaunting themselves a lot.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, you would be so blessed to have my work.
Yes.
Type vibe. That is the biggest red flag.
Or like, you should be honored.
You should
that
be
I
honored
want
that I reached out to you.
to have your work in my house. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
For me, a big red flag, I give my pricing up front, and I do take deposits.
Yeah.
If someone's like, oh, well, I want to pay it at the end, or like, do you know who I am, or you don't trust me to give you a deposit, I'm like, I'm out. Like,
Yeah.
And
Bye-bye.
I've lost.
Yeah.
No.
Not worth it.
No.
Yeah. Any red flags, Risa?
Yeah, it's not many.
How much time you got?
How much? That's a whole other podcast. That's a great question, by the way, because like we're choosing them as much as they're choosing us, I think. And so I love that question. I have a lot of boundaries when it comes to time because my work is so fluid and people have 5 o'clock alarms with getting dressed. So when they don't, immediately when they don't respect the time, and they go outside of that, like this is my texting window, or if they text me at 10 p.m., if they've gotten my number and they're like, hi, I just got your name from so-and-so, it's 10 o'clock at night, and they're like texting me, and I'm like, I don't want to work with this person. Like they're going to be the ones that are texting me at midnight being like, oh my gosh, I have a thing tomorrow for my kid's school and I need, it's like, no. So it's time and boundaries for me for sure. And then it's asking for discounts right up front. Like those are my biggest red flags. And then a lot of red flags do rear their heads along the way.
Yeah.
But those are my 2 biggest ones.
Yeah. I will say too, like, I had to learn how to set harder boundaries. Like, if you don't have the boundaries in place to begin with, like, the people with the red flags are going to push the boundaries so much to a point where you're like, fuck, I got myself in this position because I didn't have these boundaries laid out. That's why it's like onboarding your client is so important from the very beginning to educate them, like your system, your structure, your operation. And then the red flags just kind of fall out of place because you know you're in alignment, you know? I don't know, but that's taken years.
You have to learn that the hard way most of the time.
Oh, for
like
sure.
Figuring out what the red flags are.
Yeah.
How do you know unless something happened.
And you're still like we're still learning too, because like our work is evolving, our processes are always evolving, and because like every client you work with and every project you do is an opportunity for you to refine how you want to grow into your creative work. So thank you for asking that. Anybody else? All right, let's hit it.
What was one of your best investments you've ever made, whether it's a hire or an item or advertising?
My DJ academy that I went to and my DJ equipment, it was like $20,000, but it's so worth it because now I'm getting hired places and it's already paid back for sure.
Oh, that's cool.
So good.
Yeah.
And it's fulfilling you.
Yeah,
your
it's fun.
creativity.
But that is something, if you're into DJing, I would invest in it. Invest
God.
in getting
Saving my
lessons
pennies right
and
now.
buy the equipment. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, how about you guys?
I probably gear. I mean, I think that can be a trap a lot of times, but because I am a gearhead and I get to rent from myself, you know, when it's projects, and so I've built up my gear list so that I basically could do most jobs. So yeah, I would say that. I wouldn't say one item, but investing in my business with the ability to pull off most things.
Risa.
I'm looking at her right now, Laura. My director of operations, like I have been a one-woman show my entire career. I've had assistants along the way, style assistants, and I've hired interns, but like hands down, without a doubt, somebody to juxtapose the way that I operate. You have to spend that money in order to grow. So Laura, thank you. She's the best. And if you can do it, bring on somebody to help get you to where you need to go. It took 13 and a half years, but super grateful and a really good steamer. But Laura, you're number one.
I'm going to piggyback off of that too, because Risa stole my answer. My business partner, who was my COO, she still is the COO, but I remember being in a space in my creative, because I was a one-woman show doing video production, like love doing all the things. I'm like, tell me I can't and I will, like just that stubborn grit of like wanting to do every aspect of the business. And then you get to a point where you're like, fuck, I can't do it all. And I want to grow and I want to scale and I want to build team. But like my brain doesn't operate operationally. It operates as like a visionary, and my head's always in the clouds with a million ideas of how we can grow and expand. But like how we're actually going to execute, no, that is not my zone of genius. So knowing my weaknesses in that time and finding someone, like literally Nikki is the yin to my yang, she's the peanut butter to my jelly. But she like complements all of my weaknesses and strengths and vice versa. And the second I was able to invest in that and have that like partnership, it was like massive growth. In the business, but also in like my time and creativity and all of that too. So I piggyback off of that for sure.
I do have one more thing.
Yeah.
I did just buy a supercar that I haven't even publicly posted it yet as an investment to wrap it and paint it with my artwork as a sample for Ferrari.
Let's go!
So I have not posted it yet, so I just got it. I got a McLaren 720S.
Oh my gosh.
So we're gonna wrap it. and
Did
I'm
you
gonna-
drive it here tonight?
I did not. I did not. But that is gonna be it's a very big investment, but in my like Leila brain, because I'm delusional and I'm just like, somehow it's gonna work that I'm gonna have an event at my store and get all these people to come while I'm painting it live. And somehow, some way, it's gonna get back to Ferrari and be like, would you like me to paint yours? So that's where, yeah.
Yeah, I cannot.
So I will answer your
wait.
question if it's a good investment
Yeah.
in like a year.
I literally can't wait to replay this clip of Leila saying this
Yes.
and then fucking Ferrari, and then she's painting a fucking Ferrari. That's awesome.
Man.
Hopefully, yeah.
Oh my gosh, so good. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up with one question that we always ask all of our podcast guests, and we can go down the line, whichever way you want to start, if someone is hungry to answer this first. But if a young creative or entrepreneur wants or found this podcast 10 years from now, what's one piece of advice that you would want them to take from you? What's that evergreen piece of advice that you would want them to hear from you in your perspective? Risa, you want to go first?
Yeah, for me, it's very clear. Just always go with your gut. Like everything that I have done has been it makes no sense, and it all just comes from my gut. And every gut decision that I've made, I did not need a business background. I didn't need schooling in anything. I didn't need training in anything. It all operated from this just inner knowing that like I knew exactly what was right for me in my business. So if you are somebody who second guesses yourself, like I feel like you're always going to be stuck in this like business purgatory. So if you want to pursue your passion and go after it, listen to yourself way before, or if even beyond, don't listen, cut all the noise and listen to yourself as you're building. And that will, I think, help get you on the right path.
I love that. Leila?
I would say dream bigger. Also, don't listen. Like if you share your ideas, you're going to have 99% of people are going to say you're crazy and don't do it and you're going to fail. And just because that's their own stuff that they're projecting on you. And I would just say, take all the risks. My mentality is you just can't fail. So even if you feel like you're failing, it's still a lesson. You're still gaining something from it. So yeah, just keep going and don't ever give up.
Yeah, I love it.
I think humans were created to create, and I think my advice would be create. Just, make things, so.
Especially, can you imagine what life is going to be like 10 years from now with robots and AI and
Yeah.
truly, right?
Yep.
I think it's going to make us creators even more valuable. Human creators. So, yeah, that was really good. Okay, tell us where everyone can stay in touch with you. Drop us how we can follow you, stay in touch. What's on the horizon? Maybe something that's coming up next that we can follow along. Risa?
At Risa Kostis on Instagram, RISAKOSTIS, and at The Rescue Kit Co. if you want to follow the product line. Just doing some really big weddings, so be on the lookout. Follow me on Instagram. Help grow the following. Thank you.
You'll see her in Cabo.
Yeah, hopefully. I just came back and I'm recovering. But yes.
So good, Leila.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Leila Parnian, it's just at Leila Parnian. The furniture store, if you're interested in that, it's at Parnian Furniture. Things coming up, obviously the car. I'm in the middle of remodeling my furniture store to become more artsy and to have more like DJ art networking events there. I have some cool art projects coming up I can't share yet. And then I'm getting more DJ gigs here and there. So if you follow me, you can see where I'm playing at.
Yeah, post your sketch. We'll be there.
Like, where do you DJ?
Yeah.
Oh, currently I'm at Toca Madera. I'm at Jing. I'll be at Teleferique, and potentially we'll see. I just talked to them at Maya and Remy Hotel and stuff today. So I don't know if that's happening, but Almost Famous sometimes I'm at, and then I'll fly around the world right now DJing.
Yeah, she just opened for Diplo.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh. No
this
big
girl.
deal.
I'm like, this girl. I mean, she's living like goals.
I'm having
That's all I
fun.
have to say.
I'm having fun.
That's awesome.
Do you need a videographer to come with you?
Yeah.
Oh, Mark, how can we stay in touch?
At Mark_Cowart, COWART on Instagram. And my production company is alliedpictures.com.
I love it. Awesome. Thank you all so much for being a part of the
Thanks for
episode
having
today.
us.
Yeah,
This
thank
is
you.
so
It was
awesome.
fun.
So much value.
Yay.
Yay.